Well, we are almost through the 7 days of lockdown, and it is my turn to bring a word of encouragement. Among the many things these lockdowns bring is a chance to reflect and think, and that has certainly been true for me. In the couple of weeks before this lockdown, there were a couple of real-life lessons that normally I would have taken for granted, but on reflection I think are worth sharing. The first of these came on a short family holiday to the Flinders Ranges. If you get the chance, I thoroughly recommend it. On one of the days, we decided to climb to the summit of Mount Remarkable, which overlooks Melrose. Two things you should know if you ever want to do the climb. The whole of the mountain seems to be covered in rocks, which resulted in quite a few rolled ankles, and the summit of Mount Remarkable is approximately 950 metres. The recommendation for the walk is a 5-hour round trip. What we managed was a 2.5-hour ascent and a 1.5-hour descent, but the climb up was the one that tested all of us, especially the last 45 minutes. There was a number of times where we just wanted to sit down, give up, turn around, go back down, but we kept putting one foot in front of the other, and eventually we made it. The lesson learned: your body is actually capable of way more than you give it credit for, and sometimes we place limits on what we can actually achieve. The second lesson was a couple of days after we got back. As a family, we went to do the tree climbing and ropes course in the South Parklands. For those who haven't had the chance to do it, a brief explanation. There are 5 different courses that wind their way through the trees. The courses are made up of zip lines, cargo nets, fixed and swinging bridges, and a whole range of other obstacles. Before you get started, you put on a helmet and harness, which has 2 safety lines attached. And at the start of each course, you attach one of the safety lines to a cable that runs the length of the course, and the second one you also attach to the cable when crossing obstacles. As you work your way through the different courses, they become progressively harder. In a case of history repeating itself, there are a few occasions where the mind was saying, this is impossible, and yet through a combination of making small steps, slipping occasionally, and pulling ourselves up, and plenty of encouragement from each other, each obstacle was overcome. Now, call it coincidence or whatever you like, but again, it was something that made me sit back and reflect. How often do we place limits on what we can actually achieve? Taking that one step further, how often do we place limits on what God can achieve through us? I know it's true for myself, and I would suggest for most of us that too often I discount or completely dismiss what God can achieve through me without even giving it a chance. This is the God that makes the impossible possible. The other thing I took from the tree climb was the imagery of the safety harness. You connect it at the beginning, and it guides you and keeps you from falling through the course until the very end. For me, this is a great way of picturing how God is there for us for our whole lives, setting a path, allowing us to take risks, and always there to catch us should we fall. If you want to draw the analogy out further, it was also a great demonstration of how important we as a community are for each other, where we can support and guide each other through the tough times and celebrate achievements together. So, can I encourage you not to limit yourself or what God is doing through you? If you start with just small steps, you might just surprise yourself. Grace and peace, and see you soon.